Everyone, so I'll start. You're
Good
welcome.
afternoon, ma.
Yes, you're welcome. And how has been the experience been all the way? Who wants to share with
It's
us?
been fine. And for recording purposes, I think that the light in your end is not visible. You're almost blending into the dark.
Hi for now.
It's better.
All right.
And you are smiling well too.
Thank you. All right. Who else wants to tell us how has it been with you in these couple of weeks? Yes. Ura, tell us. Has it been value adding? Whatever. Just tell us, share with us. How has it been? Tasking, I believe. But does it worth it?
Yes, ma. It's worth it. You're doing a great work because it has, enabled me to think far and wide about some things.
That's the
And
idea.
there are some things I do not even, I do not have, though I know they are there, but I do not necessarily need or feel the need to think about them or work on them, which
Wow.
with these teachings, it's really helping me. It's great. Thank you for what you're doing, ma.
Yeah, thank you too for the feedback. I'm glad that it's helping you to think far and wide. And that's the idea. Because the truth is, there's really no amount of teachings I want to take you through that would be compared to you then sitting down to do the analysis and the big work on your own. So doing the big work, which is the aim of this teaching, is one thing that will help you to be able to see yourself as you truly are and decide to work on yourself so that we can achieve the overall aim. All right, Stephen, let's hear from you.
I'm sorry, I lost that.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
I was asking how the experience have been with you. If it
Yeah, I think I heard Victor Awura said it's absolutely the feeling is mutual. It's been amazing. I think last week was more practical, especially for the assessments. I think the assessments was maybe probably because I am used to administering assessment and receiving assessment myself. But I think on the long term, I think I love assessments, and practically that's because it was able to challenge some questions that you never thought of, and probably in everyday conversation may not pop up. So I think that's one thing assessment does, and I feel last week assessment was worth it. Thank you.
All right, I like the feedback I'm getting, and at least it's an encouraging one for me. So today, after this class, we have just one more class to go. And then after which I would do the debriefing session. I would think of how to go about the debriefing session because it should be one-on-one and not together like this. All right, so let's see how we'll go today as we talk about identifying the factors that affect marital relationships. All right, so many people love a blissful relationship, but they do not know those factors that are the ones that makes relationship grow sour. Not understanding or knowing this is why many people are frustrated and are not doing the right thing. They aim at having the results, but because they don't even know what the factors are, then it's very difficult for them to get the desired results. So this is why this course is very important, so we can know those things that really affect our relationship, and so we can be able to work against them. Once you know your enemies, and I think the solution is already there. So the essence of this, and for us, what we expect of you is so that you can be able to use the superior knowledge you're gathering here to combat all these factors that works against relationship, and especially your own relationship. And I've said all these tools and all that we're learning here is not just for marital relationships only. You can apply it to every other kind of relationship that exists. But particularly, we're speaking to marital relationship today. Okay, so the task you are going to engage on today is to identify the possible factors that may affect your marriage, and you are going to share with me. Meaning that after I have gone through this session, you share with me possible factors you think might be an hindrance to you for you having a marital bliss. You just share with me and then we'll talk after them. So now, these factors are 4 of them, and it's what you have here on your screen. We have the personality difference. We have the upbringing, the knowledge, and the experience. Now, remember the personality assessment we did when we talked about intimidating Homer, creative, compatible, bendable truck, systematic, fraud. Understanding the differences that exist in all of these 4 personality types is one breakthrough you would have in relating with your spouse or would-be spouse. Not also understanding this personality type will make you struggle because you will want your partner to be like you, but they can never be. They are who they are because they are wired that way. All right, so this is why we need to understand all those things we've taught about personality types and all. Particularly when you understand your own, you can help your partner to understand you the way you are. And upon understanding yours, you then can take a step further to understand your partners. I have even done this analysis relating to my colleagues at work. I can see that, oh, this person is dependable drug, okay? So with that knowledge, I can relate with him. This person is systematic fraud. There's no how you want to please her. When you give her this result, she will still say you have not done it well enough and all of that. This is because of this understanding I have. And this is why I said that this understanding is not just for us only as it relates to maritals, but to every other relationship in our lives that exists. How about in the church? It has also helped me to be able to relate with our members, to understand the personality type, to be able to know that, oh, this person, no push on too much. If you push on too much, you don't even get anything. All right. And I've been able to know what tax to give to who, because if you don't understand these personality differences, you want to treat people the way you are. Imagine somebody like me who is intimidating. I want to give tax to people, like give them 10 tax, and I feel they should be able to deliver because that's like who I am. But it's not so for somebody who is like a dependable truck. All right, a systematic fraud might even try because they like to do things with high standard. They like to hold things in high esteem and all. But a dependable truck will struggle. Creative convertible too will struggle because they like fun. So when you have this understanding about who you are in relationship with, it's a whole lot of breakthrough for you. Number 2 is upbringing. Remember we did assessment on jar of life, and in that jar of life we talked about 3 significant things. Who wants to remind me? I know some people have not done, but for those who have done, can you just remind me what those 3 things are as we speak about the jar of life? Let me help you. One of them is significant emotional experience. All right, who wants to tell me the other ones? They are just 3. Hello, who wants to share? Nobody's speaking. Stephen, I know you've done yours, so share. What are those 3 components or those 3 things we spoke about in the jar of life? We have the significant emotional experience. We have the environment.
Okay. I should mention my own, right? Like I should mention the
I'm
other
not saying
3
you should tell us what they have, but those 3 things specifically. There's the significant emotional experience. There is
I think
environment,
it's upbringing.
and there is
Upbringing too.
Thank you. So I just wanted to carry us along so that I'm not the only one talking since you've been taught before.
Okay.
All right, so this particular thing is very important for you to understand because the way I was brought up is quite different from how every other person is brought up. Now, even in my own family, because we're just 3 girls, The way I was brought up at the time I was raised, or at the time I was born, there will be some little differences in how my other siblings were raised. Why did I say so? For instance, I was born in the village. I left village like around age of 7 or 8. My immediate sister was a baby, I think around 6 months, even though she was born in the village. So she was like 6 months when we came to Lagos. The last baby of the house was born and bred in Lagos. Now, our upbringing will still not be the same. For somebody like me, I still have childhood experience in the village, and some memories to keep in the village, which is not the same for my siblings. Now, if they had to
Is
do,
it from my end?
is
Okay,
that?
good. It was frozen. We lost you for like 2 minutes or 1 minute.
Wow. Okay. So I was saying that upbringing is very important in understanding who our partners are. And I was saying that in homes, the way I was brought up is quite different from how every other person is brought up. Okay, particularly I said even in my own family where we are just 3 girls, I being the first one, the firstborn, my upbringing is quite different from that of my sisters. Why did I say so? I had the upbringing, I was born in the village. I left the village like 7 or 8 years old. And my immediate sister, I hope I can still be heard because it's like the network is misbehaving. Can I still be heard? Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, you have.
All
Yeah,
right.
please continue.
Okay, so my immediate sister,
Yeah, we can.
born in the village and was brought to Lagos around the age of 6 months, thereabouts. All right. The last born of the house was born and bred in Lagos. Now, so if you were to ask us our upbringing, what it was like, the truth is it cannot be the same, because I still have experience of the village. I still have some memories about little things we did in the village and all of those details, which is not so for them. Now, our upbringing, and that will impact who we eventually turned up to be as an adult. So if you are to do an analysis of our upbringing, it's going to be different. That is even the 3 of us born in the same house, in the same home, that the same father and mother were the one that gave birth to. How much more somebody whom it's not your daddy nor your mommy that gave birth to her or to him. And you have different upbringing, grew up in different environments and have all of those different childhood experiences. So it's quite going to be different. And this understanding is one thing we must have about our partners so that we can be empathetic and we can be considerate about how we relate with them. Number 3 is knowledge. What do you know about marriage? Most people want to go into marriage without knowledge. Some have inadequate knowledge. Some do not even have anything upstairs and they want to marry. I tell people there's so many things to learn when it comes to relationship, even before you want to venture into that marriage. Marriage is not just the next thing to do, it's a project. And it is also a life project. As that is said, we need to know that there are so many life skills that is needed to run a blissful home. Spiritual intelligence, emotional intelligence, parenting skills and knowledge, psychological balance, financial intelligence, knowledge of relating with in-laws, communication skills, because see, so many issues is centered around communication, finance, and even sex. Those are like the top 3 issues in marriage. And most people are not skilled or skillful on these issues, these subject matters, including the married. All right, so this is why it is important that even the singles should take their time to learn all of these things before they even venture into getting married. I remember as a single lady, I read as far as I would. I bought a lot of books on relationship. You would think I want to get married in the next month. Little did I even know I would have a relationship ministry, but I just wanted to know. I never wanted to be a novice as it comes to the issue of relationship. So, and everyone, is not just the female that should learn about relationship, because see, if it's one-sided, it's still not going to work. Because as much as the lady knows, the man do not know, it's going to cause a lot of friction. As much as the lady wants to do, the husband say, why do you want to do this? No, I'm not going to, I don't understand. And sometimes the man can even be quoting the Bible for the lady and saying, am I not your husband? Am I not the head? As far as I'm concerned, this you dare not do this, except you have another head elsewhere. So it becomes chaotic. This is why both people who want to go on a lifetime journey should expose themselves to knowledge and to valuable ones that can help them have the kind of marriage they want to have. The truth is, I never knew everything before coming into marriage. And till now, I don't even know everything. But the truth is, I have an open heart to learn. And this is one good thing that helps relationship to thrive. When you do not have the open mind needed to run a relationship, you think, the way my father trained me is the way I'm going to train my children. The way I saw my parents running their home is how I know how to run it. You're still going to fail. Some people hold on to the Bible and say the Bible says do this, do that, but they don't even know the principles that these things, lie on. So eventually they still cannot have the result they want. All right. So it's quite important that we are knowledgeable as it relates to relationship. Experience is another thing you want to talk about. And that particularly is about significant emotional experience that we had growing up. I think it was the last two classes I mentioned how I escaped some attempts of rape and as a little child, and how I escaped pornography trap and all of those stuff. Even though I never was into them, but the sight of some of these things, it still had a psychological effect on me. Not to talk of somebody who was really raped or somebody who went through an emotional trauma. It's going to be a big issue. And these people have to deal with such issues. Some people saw their parents beating themselves. And these are parents that they hold in high esteem. One corner of their mind, they feel like this thing they call marriage is a scam. I'm not sure it works. And one day, they also decide they're going to get married. But somewhere beside the corner of their heart, they're thinking, hey, I hope I'm not going to repeat the same error of my parents. Some are even praying about it. To pray about them, yes, it's very good. This was one of the things I did as a single lady. I saw some things that were not working with my parents' relationship. Good enough, they are both believers. They have like what you can call maybe like an average married kind of. But I wanted more. And I saw some things that were not working. And I told myself, this one is a no, I won't agree. When it comes to me making life partner choice, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So apart from praying, because I make sure I prayed. When somebody is praying, may you marry somebody like your daddy? Inside my mind, I say yes, but minus this one, minus that one. Maybe when somebody says, maybe you be like your mommy, I say, okay, yes, but minus this, but minus that. Now, the truth is, the journey is not a journey of perfection. Don't quote me wrong. But I'm just trying to say that I know things that are working or that have worked or that is still working in their marriage, and know those things that they struggled with. And I don't want to have that struggle. Beyond me praying about them, I took steps. One of the steps I took is why God ordered my step to a parenting platform where I learn. I paid huge amount of money to learn, and the learning also helped me, and it's still helping my marriage. All right. And it was then some things now began to have shape. And I began to now understand, connect the dots together. I say, oh, this is what this is what it is. Okay. But before then, I really did not know them in full. I just had like a glimpse of these things. But so the prayers, yes, helped. But when the prayer was answered, it wasn't answered the way I expected it. But I was sensitive enough to know that the prayer you prayed, this is God ordering your step, and this is what it is. Because again, for some of us, we are too spiritual about some of these things. We pray, but we expect the prayer to be answered in a particular way we want. But that's not good. It will show to you that it's good. All right. So now, that prayer and all of those decisions had helped me greatly. Apart from my immediate home, it had helped people in my caucus, people I'm training, people I'm in the church, even my own family. It has really helped greatly. And this is part of the benefit you're also getting this afternoon. So I have said this small story so that you can know how powerful the experience you have been through in life, how powerful it is on us as an individual. Talk more of your partner. So if it is a negative, significant experience, you might want to work on yourself. If it is a positive one, yes, it is like a foundation or a bedrock for your blissful marriage. But I bet you if it is a negative one, you feel, well, when we get to the river, we'll know how to cross. My dear, when it will raise its ugly head like a monster, you will not be able to bear it. If you had witnessed an experience where maybe your dad or your mom was the promiscuous type, and you witness this issue of mistrust between daddy and mom, when it gets to your turn, you always be feeling like, I hope I'm not going to be in this shoe and all. So this is why it's important that apart from prayer, you take the necessary step. This session I'm running for you, if I were to run it for intending couple, maybe to be like 100,000 per couple. Now, beyond the money, people run after, money or no money, to say, I can't do this, I can't do that. I just mentioned that I spent a lot learning parenting. And somebody like, do you have to learn parenting? My dear, you have to. Not in this age and time where things have changed drastically. And most people are lazy. They don't take their time to even read, nor have an accountability system that can help them to have the results they want, because they've not even helped themselves in the area of self-leadership. So this is why it's important that we take this very serious. Now, who wants to do this with me, just like last week? This is like an assessment on the 4 things we have mentioned. Okay, so who wants to volunteer? By running out of time, who wants to volunteer?
Okay.
Okay. Now, this is personality difference. And the first to do is to say, okay, let's check your personality type. And for checking your personality type, what it means is that you have run the psychometric analysis. And you would have known whether it is intimidating Oma or intimidating for whatever it is for the intending wife and also for the intending husband. And based on this analysis, I, as a professional, would then do what? Give my inference to say, okay, this is what it implies. That is what it implies. Then for the upbringing, so we'll do the same analysis to say, okay, what kind of upbringing do you have as an intending wife? Was it the upbringing that is dysfunctional, like daddy and mommy were not staying together? Or it was the wild type? That you know, when you talk of wildness, it's not domestic in nature. The environment is tense. The environment is not conducive. Or is the environment that is loose? Today, I've heard some adults now who are now bold enough to talk about what happened to them when they're growing up, saying that they had times where their mother took them, took them to a man's friend's house without the knowing of the daddy or the husband, as the case may be, and that he was even privy to the information to know that the mother even got pregnant for the man friend. Till date, the daddy didn't know, and the mother also did what? Aborted the baby. Now that's an upbringing that has a way of affecting the boy child, because the person is a man. If he never did what? Worked upon himself, he might grow up to have that mindset of, you can't trust women because I saw this with my mom. If my mom can do that, me, I can't trust any woman. Now that's a background that is very nice. Stephen, let me free you. Let me just explain them. Thank you. Now, knowledge is another one. You want to ask the intending husband and intending wife, what do you believe about God? What's your belief about God? You ask them about their belief about yourself, about others around you. What kind of belief do you have about all these things? Upon listening to the intending couple, both of them, I then give an inference to say, remember, I cannot put my own ideas for you to say, okay, I know this is what you should believe about God, or this is what you should believe about people. No. It's your life. This is the professional part. If it's the spiritual partner, I can also, okay, the Bible says this, the Bible says that, why not this, why not that? But when it comes to the professional phase, what I have to do is to just give you guidance. Now, how about the experience you've had in time past? We want to look at it to say, was it a very pleasant one? Lovely? Was it lively? Was it scary? Was it a chattering one that you don't even want to remember at all? These kind of experiences have their negative impacts even as we grow up as adults. All right, so we want to also ask to say, what signal will your spouse's family or associates receive by coming in contact with you, the intending wife, with you, the intending husband? Would it be such environment that shows that you are accommodating, or that you are harsh, or that you hate them, or that you love them, or that you are warm to receive them? Now, some people, I know of ladies who were praying before they even got married to say, my mother-in-law, she died before I even get there and all. Why? They've heard a lot of stories about mother-in-laws and they felt they cannot deal. It's better the woman dies before they get there. And I grew up in that kind of period. And I think one of the things I did was to be praying, Lord, you know the kind of mother-in-law I will have. If it's the one that is not good, please touch her heart that she will like me. And see, prayer is very important, and God sees you, especially when you pray sincerely. God has a way of answering these prayers, and the prayer truly today is answered. I don't pray that my mother-in-law should die, because again, I know that one day I will be a mother-in-law. So should one daughter-in-law to be praying ahead that I should die? Of course, no. Because see, again, the Holy Scripture says, whatever you sow, you will reap. So if you sow the evil seed of praying that your mother-in-law to be should die, then it means that when you two want to be a mother-in-law, somebody will pray that you should die, and then you die. So it now becomes like a family curse for somebody started it. All right, so this is just for you to remember the tree of life, the jar of life we give, the triangle of life. And so for the trio, I've just mentioned the jar of life, it includes those three things: your upbringing, environment, and then emotional significance experience, which I've explained a lot today. Then the tree of life is something very important you want to do. If you have not done it, you have to do it so that at the end of the day, I won't run after people for the assessment. It is only the assessment I get that will analyze and then share back, because again, on its own is very tasking. All right, so the tree of life is where you have your potentials. You have the right side, the left side, the good memories, the bad memories. You have your fruits, you have the branches, you have people that you look up to, and all of those details. Very important to make us know the kind of things you have been through and be able to say, based on this, based on that, these are the likely issues and these are things you should sit down and combat so that you can have a blissful marriage. The last is the triangle of life. And on that triangle, we have what we call there's the current idea you have, there is the behavior that you are currently doing, and there is the result you are getting. So if you must change your result, then you must change your belief. You change your belief, you change your behavior, and then you will see the result change. But if you want the result to change and you do not change your belief and your behavior, you will not have your result change. All these things are important. These three tools are very important for us to have the desired result that we have. Now, I have just put this together to say that I think it should be the first, and this is just the first place I'm sharing. I've not shared, just did this today. And I'm sharing this to say that I think it should be first partaker of this. We have an academy, we call it Caris Parenting Academy. And this will be the second time we're running this annual training for parents or would-be parents. So it's not until you're a parent before you just learn about parenting. Just like I've mentioned today, the people that should attend are slated by your at your left-hand side. Anyone that have relations with children generally, or in the future, if they would have, they should be part of this. And I know you're going through your screen right now. All right, so but the month of December is going to be a free training throughout. So after that 1 month, you can decide that you want to go further with us. And if you want to go further with us, what it means is that you pay 5,000 per month, which is 5 times 11 months, because you've done the first free month. Okay, so which is 55,000, equivalent to $17. And if you look at the worth of what to be given, it's more than 5,000. But then you can also pay instrumentally to say you pay 3 times, divide 5 into 3, into 3 portions, and then that will be all. I just said, let me share this details in case anyone of us who want to see the privilege. Now, I think I'm done for today. Yes. Now tell me, we have just one more minute to go. Is there any questions or any feedback for me just before the session is over? So we don't have to roll it over again. Yes. Questions? Less than 1 minute we've got. Please, let's speak now. Nobody's speaking. Please speak. Just say something, even if there's no question, so that I will know I'm not
Yeah, I
done.
was typing in the chat box.
Oh.